First chapter, Studio Wasteland. When I was a child, my mom would send to me, every man I've ever had in my life has always managed to let me down. My father was a drunk. My brother is nuts, and your father's all those things and a straight up loser. Son, I got my eye on you. Wait, let me start that again. Sitting there at the corner of his bed in his wife beater, Michael took a good look at his mitts and began to wonder what to do with them. If there was ever a part of him that had given him a sense of his own true worth, it'd be they. They had once been his livelihood and his pride. But the only thing now is, thought Michael, while sitting there alone in the dark, can they give me the strength to make it through the night? Then thought Michael, all tongue-in-cheek, as he realized how his thoughts were getting. The strength to make it through the... well, I guess that's as good a start as I could come up with. Besides that whole mother bit, which I don't want to think about right now. Plus, it rhymed too. Although, really, it sounds a bit too cheesy to me. But that's just the thing. Try too hard to make something sound good, and the material you come up with probably just gonna sound that, and also pretentious. But, since I already am such a pretentious jackass over here, and also cheesy too, I guess it makes it befitting, and it'll do. Michael then felt a nice, cool, transatlantic ocean breeze coming from his window, coming in from the east, which made him feel invigorated by. And as he looked out of that window, Michael felt lost in a moment as he watched the skies clear while the sun began to set, and then watched the streets below slowly beginning to brew with life. And that's New York City nightlife we're talking about. Motherfucking Brooklyn. And in today's world, now in the 80s, here in the concrete jungle, one very, very mean and dangerous place to be living in. At twilight, you could see all the unsavory characters and creatures of the night coming out of their hidey holes to hunt and breed. The domesticated lot with their sharp suits and dwindling dreams had all gone to bed, and it was now the hour for the other sort to come out and play. And as much as Michael wanted to step outside and join his lot, there was still a fear left within him, keeping him at bay. Downing a Jack Daniels, Michael stood up and went over to his crummy bathroom mirror to check the damage. And as he got up to the man in the mirror, he took a good look at himself while waiting for the liquor to set in. Well, there you are, thought Michael Connolly as he looked at himself some more. Then felt a little depressed. Then nearly tipped over. Then felt a bit self-conscious. Now decided to fancy himself since he was up there, which usually made him feel better at mopey times like these. Well now, there you are, he figured himself as an oddly handsome guy. Oddly so, since he stared at himself so often, so much so that he started to see himself all weird. Oddly for him, but not anyone else. For anyone else, especially women, Michael was nothing less than drop-dead gorgeous, and in that dangerous sort of way, since fundamentally Michael was your average, run-of-about, bad boy, the leather-jacketed one. Your average, run-of-about street hustler, womanizer, player, prick. Yeah, fine, flatter me some more, why don't you? All-around jerk. Hey, give me a break here. Even though nothing at all average about him. That's a little better. Really bad, really vicious, and also corrupt. And corrupt in that way that when you saw his special $1,000,000 smile, seeing as much of a beautiful man he really was, it could eat your heart away, eat your heart out it will, regurgitate it out into mush. We all got a gift we're born with. You got yours and I got mine. Which of course Michael knew all too well, since how could he not see the effect it had on the lot? I wasn't born yesterday. And always women, always them. For alas, 'tis such a burden in life I have been deemed fit to carry. 'Tis. Which always gave him that arrogant sense of privilege, seeing as how he'd fare better when he'd be hitting on them, compared to how he would if he was just some ordinary looking dude, that or an ugly fuck. Yeah, glad to see you've taken notice, but yeah, I am that shallow. And I like to keep it that way too. Keep it simple, nice and neat, and not be thinking in too deeply. For in the end, everyone is also that shallow, and everyone does judge a book by its cover. So why be different when all that would be is a major disservice to you as you found yourself all alone seeing how you cared more while everyone else didn't? He had large green eyes fitted deep within his eye sockets, so large and yet so deep that they always seemed like there were some hidden figures peering out from within the shade. He had the thickest and curliest golden hair which he had ever seen on not no man except himself, not even on some women that had gone in for a perm at some beauty salon. Dark at the root, but pure gold at further gradation. Hair that was kept short so as it wouldn't turn into a bushy mess, which it still managed to do so anyways, and so thick and shiny that it made him look like some long ago, faraway Hebrew prince. Golden locks, thick, bold, and shiny. But with also a small rat tail growing at the back, which really looked like a pigtail considering how curly his hair was. That stuck out 3 inches, and was tied up with a rubber band Michael had found in some broken down, white tiled, graffitied up subway restroom down in the Bronx. At one point, Michael was thinking about getting that Ziggy Stardust stew everyone had now. That Rod Stewart. That the hairstyle that's all short in the front and long in the back. Everyone has it now, but no one seems to have a name for it. Odd. Was thinking until he realized with his stubbornly curly hair it wouldn't make do. Plus, he was already getting sick of seeing it. For everyone was sporting one now. Everyone. Fucking everyone. And seeing so much of it had made Michael lose interest. Michael was 5'11", under 75 pounds, and was fitted for some 32-inch waist, with some tight, shredded jeans. Tight and shredded. Looking mighty mean and lean in them jeans. His old pair that didn't come shredded, but became that way through Michael's personal living conditions and lifestyle choices. Yeah, in other words, I didn't buy them like this like I've seen them now selling at the mall. They became this way. Every rip, something stupid I had done to almost get myself killed. Lifting up his shirt from the front, he was mildly pleased to see how he was cut well enough now, all over, to finally be able to sport a six-pack, which Michael eyed with some more arrogant sense of privilege now extended to newer heights. At least the working out in the joint paid off. Now let's see how it fares with the ladies. Since getting out, Michael had seen on MTV some rock star wearing a dangling crucifix to his left ear, and seeing how bitchin' it looked, Michael had then fancied to give him one too. Although Michael did love him some crucifixes a lot, the thought of religion did scare him some for some reason. But still, Michael just felt comfortable being around them. Calm, not so tense all the time, and at peace. He had 2-to-1 here, a gold one around his neck, one with a broken chain in his left pocket, 3 wrist bracelets with all crosses on it, and finally a rosary in his right pocket that he liked to pull out and play with. As for the two to his left ear, for a second there, Michael had almost made the mistake of getting it done on his right. Almost. That is, until the guy that did the piercing told him what it would mean in public. All in all, even though he liked what he saw, eat your fucking heart out anyone that says I look just decent. He still knew there was only so much a man could get from the surface. well, you're in your 30s now. Neither than your bitchin' looks and your mitts. Bitchin' looks. Thought Michael as he rolled his eyes from how dumb and conceited the last bit sounded in his head. That also very self-conscious side of him kicking in. But then smirked and accepted it. Well, either than you and your stupid conceited ass, you really have nothing else to show for, do you? With looks, you can only drive so many hours of enjoyment before you start to notice all the flaws and imperfections. And then spend so many more hours staring deeper and don't get into it again. Checked Michael himself. But anyways, I'm a dude, so it's not like I could get my looks to pay the bills and keep this dump in order. Thought Michael, while staring all around his surroundings, the dirty white walls, the black cascading streaks, the mountains of unwashed shirts and crusted over socks, one dingy, foldable, summertime chair set next to a pile of pizza boxes, which Michael had made into a table to set a TV on top of. A black and white 10-inch stolen TV with wooden framing. One TV, or minus one, since it went missing one night, that Michael decided, against his better judgment, to let in some itchy, pigtailed, junky chick into his place, who had offered him some blow, and also the blow on me, that is. You wouldn't believe how many women I sometimes get just looking at me and then saying, you want to suck my dick, just to know how it feels to blow someone as good looking as this. But anyways, Next to the pizza boxes on the ground, one broken and also stolen cassette player with wooden framing that chick had stepped on. Next to one broken but actually paid for VHS machine with wooden framing that chick then fell on. All surrounded by crumpled up tinfoil Michael used to wrap that TV's antenna with. Tools Michael tried to use to fix his cassette player and VHS machine with. And finally, one condom Michael had used. Oh, get the fuck out of here. It's been lying there all this time. How long has it been since I used it to fuck that chick with? Then again, wait. Was it her I used it on? Pigtail girl, ponytail girl. But then there's the girl with the hair that Lockley do, remember? The one with the Bon Jovi? She having he hair, even though he hair is really she. And the one with the Pat Benatar. Fuck, I can't tell. And then looking around, wait, how many more condoms do I have just lying around in the open? Okay, there's another one. And another. And, and, oh, what the fuck? It's seriously, this is disgusting. This is getting a little too depressing to be not to be taken in. Michael now sighed. Where would I even throw them? I don't even have a trash can. All I got are a couple of smelly bags, trash bags over there in the corner that I really need to take to the dumpster quick. And they're both stuffed solid, and I tied them up so they won't smell so bad. And I've opened them up a couple of times already to stuff them some more, which I tied back up again, so they're worn in. And if I untied them again, they're most definitely going to break. Fucking plastic. I don't think I could squeeze any more items in there, not even rubbers. Fuck, this place is getting disgusting. Fuck, this place is... Michael then sighed again. Fuck. And then felt depressed. But then looking back up at his gorgeous mug in the mirror, Michael thought, wait, who says I can't get my looks to make dough to make ends meet? Maybe if I start pulling some American Gigolo shit, I can make it happen. I've been having strange women for the past few months giving me dough for some reason or another. And all I did for them was the same thing I was doing for myself. I mean, I've seen how all those old and lonely breakfast at Tiffany sort of women on Fifth Avenue gawk at me while I pass them by. How they ogle my junk, my bulging pecs and biceps, all staring at me while pretending not to stare while walking their stupid mutts. Although most of them are now a little too old and wrinkly and a little too much for me and my taste. But some of them, although, look like they were real catch back in the day, back in them proud days, back in the 40s and 50s, when they were in their prime. And I do gotta think for those old movie starlets, Elizabeth, Rita, Marilyn, Sophia, Grace, oof, back when women were women. So if I can only just imagine balling their younger selves back when they had beehives and victory rolls, which looked hot as fuck back then, there's always that. And now Michael began to smile as the depressive feeling subsided. But wait, what if it doesn't work? And I'm forced to pull some midnight cowboy shit instead. And I have to... Oh, fuck that. Seriously, fuck that. And as the good feeling subsided, so did Michael's smile as it turned into a frown. Fuck that shit. I don't want to, but then again, thought Michael now. Today that whole cowboy shit won't fly. No one's into them like they were when I was a kid. That cowboy shit is too gay now, even for gays. Now it's all about looking like Queen, with everyone all into that hair metal scene, and to keep up, I'm going to have to go straight drag. Ah, shit. And as repulsive as that idea seemed on one side, on the other, although just for the sake of entertaining the idea with the wig, would I go redhead or blonde? Leather or latex? Fishnets or leg warmers? And after entertaining that idea, so Michael then thought, oh fuck it, it's the 80s. So why not both of each and all thrown in together? Michael was now smiling again. But as Michael looked up at the gorgeousness again, his mug in the mirror, and caught the sight of him in drag, but before real this time, of course in his imagination, Michael thought, ah shit, okay, don't start that stupid shit. At least not again. I ain't going fag. Even though I know dudes would be like lining up all around the block for my supple sweet ass if I ever did. It ain't gonna ever happen, ever, and that's that. Michael was now laughing, enjoying a fleeting moment of feeling good, which to Michael always came with abundance of fleeting moments there. then gone again, fast, gone too quickly before Michael could really enjoy them well enough to leave a meaningful, everlasting impression. uh, oh. And now back to the sadness. Oh, God. If there was one defense mechanism Michael had for just about any occasion, it was trying to be funny. And even though just for himself, with his own unique brand of humor, which Michael figured only he would ever get, hence why he would never share it with anyone else, trying to be funny, no matter how depressed, angry, irritated, or scared he felt. If he felt all those ways, on the flip side, Michael had to then find something he and only he would find funny to lighten up the mood. But most of the time, oh God help me, it just left him with a weird burning sensation in his chest that then took hold and began to slowly eat away at him. The best describes it, the feeling of overloading a fire with gasoline to keep it from going out, but overdoing it and now having to deal with third-degree burns. Oh, God. All followed by a sharp sting of sorrow that shot all the way straight to his core. And it was now that Michael felt like singing a more serious tune. You know, at this point in your life, you really should have had everything already set. A stupid wife, stupid kids, a stupid boring job in place, instead of your dreams of being a rock star or something. Although I never dreamed of being a rock star, I either wanted to be a professional heavyweight champ, that or a Seabolt captain. Toot toot. Tried Michael, but to no success, even though the feelings of burn and sorrow shot twice as deep. But anyways, at this time of the night, I really should have been coming home from a long day of work from the shop, all dirty and greasy after spending something like the last 6 hours straight trying to replace old Miss Montgomery's irreplaceable 58 Chevy transmission. Something like that now would have been life. But as it turned out, something as simple as that was never to be. Trying to take another sip out of an empty bottle, Michael felt a bit nauseous as he stared deeper into his mug that now just seemed to get staler and uglier by the second. So how about it? Why sit here? Why don't I go back to old Fred Chardonnet's garage and see if I could get my old job back, huh? I mean, I still got the skills. I'm pretty sure he'll take me back, so why don't I? Why don't I? But the thought of going back to being a grace monkey for old Fred made Michael feel even more depressed. Spending one senseless day in, another senseless day out, doing the same old, felt like he'd be setting himself up for his own personal mild-mannered hell. Even though he used to love working on cars and motorcycles back when he was younger, he wasn't feeling it now, and Michael wasn't sure if he ever would again. So what then, huh? And then, staring down at his mitts, again, Michael felt his response. No, hell no. I've been this over a dozen times. As much as I want to, it's not going to do me any good. I just got out of prison. That's only going to send me back in, or worse, to the morgue in a plastic bag. Michael paused, but then felt the response again. A whole lot stronger, pounded out tenfold. Michael was now shivering. He felt the rage inside building up again, and the beast inside demanding it so, demanding for the resolution he knew he would get if he confronted him again. No, I ain't going out there. Not for that. It's not worth it. No, it's not. It's not. Confronting him again, and most definitely, please don't make me think of her again. Please, please. But there was more to it than just that. So much more to it. Too much more. And not enough of anything else to stand against it. No, I can't be that guy anymore. I just stay here, Michael, and wait it out, all right? But the thought of him being cooped up another night in this Studio Wasteland made his heart wrench. It made him feel depressed a whole lot more. Claustrophobic even. Almost maniacal in a sense. Shit, I hate this place. I hate this fucking place. Which almost makes me feel like I'm back in that other place. That other place. That other fucking place. All alone, there, waiting, just waiting for something to smash. Wait, Michael's knuckles were now bleeding. Wait, what'd I do? Michael had punched and embedded his fist into the bathroom mirror. So hard and so deep, it had broken into the med cabinet and had popped open a case of Tylenol. Although the pain that followed just made him smile as he felt an itch to spout out a morbid joke to himself. Well, you do feel like a headache coming on, isn't that right? Asked Michael to himself. But before he could pop one in his mouth, Michael found himself once again with his other fist also now bleeding after trying to open his bathroom door with it. Smash! Fuck this fucking place. I hate this fucking place. I feels like it's sucking out my soul bit by bit and dissolving away into nothing. I'm already a shell of a person. How much more can it take away from me? Why doesn't anyone see me how I see me and see at least show that they no one I hate them. I hate them all. By this point, there was no stopping him. All the blood, pain, and morbid thinking had enraged him and had sent him off as he began totaling the studio apartment with the fury of a man on the edge. 8 months wasting time in this shithole, soaking in from the fumes from the meth lab next door had become 8 months too many. 8 months sitting around jobless, senseless, scared of the future of what it had in store for him, scared out of his own mind sometimes for no apparent reason other than out of habit and boredom, sometimes feeling scared shitless of just how mad he felt and not knowing what to do next. 8 months of that, and now this. Fuck you! And with that, Michael picked up a chair and threw it out of his fifth-story window. And with a large gush of wind that came spewing in, Michael felt chilled to the bone and felt done. Rumpus pompous, thought Michael as he sat back down. Rumpus pompous, thought Michael again. What that was a personal philosophy of his. What it was, all that mattered was to keep it simple, to keep it fresh, to keep it cool, and most of all, keep it in your face. In your face, you big disgrace, kicking your... Michael had once heard someone call something a romp. At the time, he wondered what that meant. So when he asked that person, the man had then told him, ever just beat the fuck out of a man and love it? Love it like sex? Michael at the time had then made a crooked smile, noticing that the hombre didn't know who he was talking to. Well, that's what I call a rumpus good time, concluded that streetwise stranger, which Michael had the displeasure of meeting never again, and never getting to know his name. Rumpus pompous. Of course, pompous part is easy to understand because it's not like two words like romp and rumpus, smushed together and then regurgitated out into the streets with a different meaning, or really just in Michael's head since no one else was saying it. Michael enjoyed making up his own language like that. The pompous part was all about the hot air. It was about being a pretentious asshole and acting like you loved it. And just for show. Just to rub it in. Now, him personally, coming from the streets, Michael hated pompous assholes. But he knew that's what it took to get by. When a man started beating his chest, you had to beat yours harder. When he started yelling, you yelled louder. And when he tried to put his hands on you, that's when the rumpus part came in. Altogether, it was all about the double package. Bark and bite, might and word, sword and pen, spit and steel. Now taking all this in, Michael then took another look down at his mitts and started to feel different. Wait a second. What the fuck am I afraid of still? You're there already at that place. There. There. Like from the stories told by the bar, by barflies like your Uncle John, stories like that one about that guy in the 60s that ran out of his house in his boxers wielding a hacksaw. Never meaning no harm, even though he terrorized two old ladies in the library in the process. The man was just out and about looking for love and attention, and which he found on the arms of 7 bulls on the corner of Bronxdale and Morris. Remembering that story, Michael began to snicker. You have nothing left to lose, do you? Michael Conley was beginning to come to a conclusion after spending the last rage incarnate minute wrecking his dump, which really doesn't look that much different from before. Michael wanted to feel done being afraid and done worrying about his future. It was time to stop trying to move forward with his life. His answers were nowhere near him. He had no future. The answer he had been looking for all this time was still in his past, and deep down in his gut he knew it. But for some reason, until now, he didn't have the insight to see it's being so. What just happened? Thought Michael. But as he looked back down at his mitts once more, that were covered in blood, his blood, He got his answer. It was really the feeling of pain pulsating from them that did what months of sitting around contemplating couldn't do. These mitts of his had finally made a call for action, and Michael smiled as he thought this, while looking down at the instruments of his own intervention. There's no more reason. There's no reason left in controlling it. I have nothing precious left in my life to preserve. So maybe, just maybe, it's about time I become my own tall tale told in bars and beat-up joints across the East Coast. A tale about that guy in the 70s who had been sent to prison or rot. That came back out in the 80s, out on the other end. Came back out against all odds to take back that had been taken from him. Wow, that sounded cheesy. But Michael didn't mind. The words felt righteous, and it was making him feel good. Okay, Michael, enough with this already. You're not going to be sitting out another Friday night here in this shithole all alone waiting to do it again tomorrow. It's time to do it. It's time to find Rad Boy and settle all matters straight. Time to give me some bitch ass smacking and rompous pompous in your face action. Michael then chuckled and then began getting himself ready for the night ahead. Fuck this fucking place. I deserve better than this. I deserve better than after all the shit I've been through. Michael sipped on his father's old, newly rhinestone-studded Leatherman high school jacket, then popped the collar while taking another look at his gorgeous mug in the shattered mirror. A million of me's. If only all the chicks in this city could be so lucky. Michael then paused and felt like addressing all the crazy shit that was about to go down, giving it a name, a calling, a title. What that would describe in all its meaning. Feels like I'm setting myself on some type of adventure, some type of quest, journey, some type of odyssey. An odyssey? Oh, why not? An odyssey. A New York odyssey. A Palooka's odyssey. But then it came to Michael exactly what it should be called. You know something that's been on my mind recently? Something I've noticed. On TV, I've been seeing a trend in everything that's on, in movies, sitcom, and even the news. Seems as if though people now can't cut it out mentioning the decade we living in, as if though there's something entirely special about them. As if people now are trying to separate themselves from the world we were living in the 70s in a really, really major way. It's the 80s, it's the 80s, it's the 80s, everyone keeps saying. Hey, why so many chicks into aerobics now? Well, duh, that's because it's the 80s. Why so many dudes wearing Miami Vice suits, snorting a bunch of coke, and going totally out of their way to act like the biggest jackass in the room? Well, duh, it's because it's the 80s. What does all that mean, one might ask? Hey, shut up. Stop asking stupid questions. The 80s means it's the 80s, responds the other. Everyone's so overly self-conscious now, too. So self-aware and self-absorbed. Round and round they go, like on a merry-go-round, on an infinite number of loops, all headed inwards, spiraling into the abyss of their own inner being, as if to find definition, to find meaning as what it means to be me. Michael then smiled as he saw he was onto something. Well, I guess the world is a very different place now since I went in. I feel it being so, I feel it. So how about it, an 80s odyssey? Yeah, that's what it'll be. I mean, the world is different, the city's different, people are different, and but I'm still me. An 80s odyssey, that's what it'll be. You wait and see. Michael then lit up a cig, bandaged his fists, and decided it was damn fine time to hit the streets, to get some of that fresh night's air he was thinking about earlier. He was feeling earlier. Michael Madboy kindly decided this as his personally hand-picked theme song, Danzig's Mother, began playing in his head. Mother, tell your children not to walk my way. Tell your children not to hear my words, what they mean, what they say. Mother. God, I love that song.